Hi everyone and welcome to Jab and Move with your host Stephen, and we've had a few big stories this week in the world of boxing and things that I want to go through and just have a conversation with you and see what you think is going to happen moving forward. So the three big things for me that I want to speak about very clearly is Derek Chisora beating Okolie. What do we think of that? Do we think he deserves a title shot for what he would say would be his 50th and final fight? I still doubt it. I think he'll be going for a little bit longer yet. If he's getting paid, he's going to get in that ring. And next thing we'll talk about is what Cole Frampton said, which I thought was really important on the Eubank Benn fight. It's something that will definitely make my mind up when I see it on the scales, but we'll have a chat about that. And the final thing is Frank Warren has mentioned that Richard Riakporhe and Lawrence Okolie are going to fight each other at heavyweight. So they've both moved up to heavyweight now. Obviously, we had Okolie at bridgeweight. He's now moved up to heavyweight, and Richard Riakporhe has followed up. So what do we think is going to happen there? And is it a missed opportunity for Riakporhe at cruiserweight? We'll go through it. So, starting very quickly with Derek Chisora. Boy, he did it again. He won. He has surprised a few. I think he's always been a brawler. Is he the best fighter? No. Is he entertainment? Absolutely. Is he a fantastic brawler? 100%. He is a fighter at heart and will always be a fighter at heart. And that Okolie win was very good. But it is Okolie. He is not the best. People have it in his head that he's some kind of wonderful mystical fighter because at one time against Fury, when he had the cut eye and everything, that it all, he was the reason for it and he put him close and all this. There was a lot of reasons why that fight was close. You had Fury coming back from an absolute layoff when obviously he had issues with drugs and drink and stuff, which he got through and became the Fury that we know now, which is amazing. And he also had the cut eye and the issues there that caused a lot of things. And obviously coming back, he didn't want to lose the volume. He had to fight it smart. He couldn't go for the knockout. He couldn't go and stamp his authority. He had to be technically proficient in that fight. So yeah, he's had this reputation. I don't really think he deserves it. And Chisora showed it up again on Saturday night when he won by an absolute streak. It was a fantastic performance. He's calling out Usyk. I don't think that's the way to go. I actually think personally, if he can somehow get a payday with AJ, that'd be amazing. I don't think he beats AJ, but that'd be incredible. But he's going to be going for a payday with someone, and he'll be talking to everyone. He'll be calling all his buddies. I just really hope we don't see Chisora Fury 4. That'd just be the worst. But whatever he does, he's going to get paid. He's going to have a stadium fight, I think, now, because he is a draw. I know he's not the best fighter. I know he's not going to be the one that's going to be fighting for world titles, but he could be, potentially, on the IBF side. But he will be an absolute brawler and pure entertainment. So congratulations to him. I'm looking forward to see who fights next. After beating Joe Joyce, which I thought was a decent win, after beating Okolie, which for him again was a good win, I'm interested to see where we go next. So fantastic. Let's see what happens there. But let me know your thoughts, who you think he should fight next. So Cole Frampton was on TalkSport and he was talking about the rehydration clause. Now this is something that I think doesn't get a lot of traction. And some of that because of the fight for Raw when it first came out and it was announced it's finally on the way. People haven't really looked at too much into it. So Eubank has a rehydration clause. We don't know exactly what it is, how much you can put on and everything else. But he is significantly heavier than Benn. So having a rehydration clause is only going to hamper him. And he's already got come down in weight. And we've seen it in the first fight. When he got on those scales, obviously before the failed drugs tests became public knowledge and everything happened, he looked just devoid of energy. He looked very, very tired. And it didn't look great for him. It didn't look it was actually the right move for him, and I still think it isn't the right move for him personally. But he wants the big payday, he wants the money, he wants to trade off his father's name, so does Benn. So it's going to happen. Whatever happens now, it's going to happen. They're going to get paid big bucks. But it's a danger. And I like what Cole Frampton said. He wasn't happy about it. He mentioned about how obviously it's so key for fighters to rehydrate, to how much they actually boil down for weigh-ins and stuff. And again, I think it's going to have a huge factor on the fight between Benn and Eubank. And I think it's more of a factor than people realise when it comes to that Saturday night in April. So another thing he mentioned, something I actually quite liked, was he was talking about obviously moving forward. They're obviously working off each other's names. They're going to have this fight. What's next for both of them? Now, title shots would be the one for him, really, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. You probably want Benn at Eubank at 168 to try to go for a title shot. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they're fighting at 160. and Benn goes up to 160, is he going to be able to go back to 147 and be a force to reckon with? There are so many good fighters in that 147. We've seen it with Matrimov against Crawford, how good he is. We've obviously got Crawford now in the mix there and stuff, and a few other fighters that are going to pose huge issues. Benn of 2 years ago, if he was fighting for the 147 title, World Championship, I would give him the best chance possible. Benn of right now, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what the last 2 years I took out of him, and also if going up in weight is going to affect him in terms of his performance back down at 147. So it's interesting, and also I think this is the glaring thing here. It's the biggest thing people have missed. Yes, it's a fight with the Benn and Eubank name, but first of all, these two fighters are not the best in the business right now. And secondly, the weight disparity is huge. It's going to make a big difference when it comes to that fight. And I think it's something that people need to look at. There's a reason why one fight's at welterweight and one fight's at middleweight. It's not because they're playing games and they want to do it for fun. It's because of what their bodies can do and what they can achieve. So something personally I think we should keep an eye on. I like what Cole Frampton said. I think the rehydration clause is something that I would like to see if it ever gets publicly named what it is. It's going to be interesting to see that. And also for me personally, my prediction will not be coming out until very much the day before, because I need to see what Eubank looks like on those scales and what we see in that fighter before I think of exactly what's going to happen that night. But let me know your thoughts, guys. What do you reckon of Cole Frampton's thoughts on that one? And let me know what you think. The next one I want to go through is some big news. I actually quite like this. Is Lawrence Okolie finally going up to heavyweight properly? I know he's already fought one, but really stepping up now. But the news that Richard Riakporhe is going up to heavyweight, that's intrigued me. Now, he was a good cruiserweight. He missed the trick, I think, with Chris Billam-Smith, and I don't think he factored in just how much Chris Billam-Smith wanted to retain that title and how much of an absolute brawler he became over that short period when obviously they had the previous fight. But going up to heavyweight is interesting. He's got the knockout power, we've seen it in previous fights, and he has the boxing IQ to a point. But who is he going to trouble in the heavyweight division? Now with Okolie, I think he can trouble quite a few. He's significantly bigger, and I think he was built for heavyweight. He did well to win a world title at cruiserweight, but I think he is built for heavyweight, and I think he will find his sort of place within the heavyweight division. But who does Richard Riakporhe take out right now? Does he take Fabio Wardley out? I don't think so. Does he take obviously Joe Parker, Dubois, not a chance. I don't think he touches them. AJ, no. Fury, no. Usyk, no. So is he looking now at the moment, obviously, going with Okolie? And also it's a big risk for both of them because they've only just got into the division. So this is a huge fight, and in this day and age, I don't think it's very much like sort of back in the day a bit where you can lose a few fights and still come back. You still can, but it's harder. That sort of unbeaten within that weight is always quite valued at that point. And I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's a risky fight for both of them. What do I think will happen? At the moment, I think Okolie takes it. I think he is going to be the better fighter at heavyweight than the two. And I think just the way he fights, his style is so out there and a little bit odd. I think it's going to throw Riakporhe off. And we've seen that with Billam-Smith in the cruiserweight fight. He couldn't contain him. It was the energy and stuff. And we've seen with Billam-Smith and Okolie, the energy was there from both fighters. So we know with Okolie, he's going to bring the energy. He's going to be on him all the time. He's going to give him that surety of terms of how he's going to approach the fight and what he's going to do. He may not be an absolute brawler and go straight for the devastating punch, but he's going to be awkward, and that's not what Riakporhe needs. He needs someone he can go in, have a few rounds with, push himself a bit and get that knockout punch, and I don't think Okolie's going to be that one. But I'm interested in that. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Two British fighters moving up to heavyweight. What do you reckon, guys? Who do you think is going to do it better? Do you think Okolie's going to nail it, or do you think Riakporhe is going to be the rising star? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Like I say, we've got Chisora. Who does he fight next? Who do you want to see him in the ring with next? What would be the dream fight for Chisora? We've got obviously Benn and Eubank. What do you reckon to the rehydration clause? Is that a huge factor in that fight? And finally, obviously going through it, Richard Riakporhe against Lawrence Okolie, stepping up to heavyweight. Okolie's already been in for one fight. Richard Riakporhe stepping up. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to take that victory? Let me know in the comments, guys. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.